It is Islamo-Nazi terrorism. Whether it's in Iran, whether it's in parts of Egypt, wherever it is, they want to kill us. They've been wanting to kill us since long before the other day when we hit those sites, that is last night. And they're going to continue to try and kill us. People don't understand. They don't have the Western mindset. They have the Islamo-Nazi mindset, which is kill the Jews, kill the Christians, kill Muslims who don't agree with us, kill the Hindus, kill the Buddhists, kill the West, kill the Americans, kill until we control the world. This is our first ever Blaze TV news brief, and it should be. What Donald Trump did as Commander-in-Chief is remarkable. It's not just that he had the courage to order the attack on the Islamo-Nazi Iranian nuclear sites, but look how it came off. I'm old enough to remember when Jimmy Carter sent some of our military helicopters in the desert to try and get some of our hostages freed from this same Islamo-Nazi regime, and one of them crashed because of the sand got caught up in the motor system, in the ventilation system, and we lost some men there. But this was done. It was perfect. It was perfect. We had help from the Israelis who kind of cleaned the lane over the last 7, 8, 9 days, and the day before this mission took place, they were hammering as many radar systems as they can find all over the country of Iran. This is how allies work, but this is how America works. This is what we should be used to. That is a Commander-in-Chief, not an interventionist, none of that stuff, but he knows when and how to use the United States military. And the United States military, the most massive and powerful fighting machine on the face of the earth, ready to take action as needed in any environment, against any enemy, in any way. And we should be cheering this. I want to give this some context. In 1996, Bill Clinton, then president, had an opportunity to blow up the North Korean nuclear site. After decades of presidents of both parties negotiating with North Korea, giving them billions and billions of dollars to feed their people, multiple agreements signed left and right, they lied and they cheated. Imagine that. The Islamo-Nazis cheat, the communists cheat, and the fascists cheat. Who would have thought? And then one day they showed up, and they showed off. They had a nuclear missile. That fast. We didn't even know they were about to show it. We didn't even know they were about to have one. Bill Clinton was a coward. Then remember the Obama regime. I know it's lunchtime or dinner time where you are. You don't want to remember it, but nonetheless, appeasement from beginning to end with this same regime, this Islamist Nazi Iranian regime. And after a period of time, they buckled, they bent over backwards, and they gave him a similar deal that a lot of the isolationists in our country were actually pushing. And Donald Trump comes in and he says, no, wait a minute, this deal's crazy. In 10 years, and less now that I'm president, not Obama, they get to have a nuclear weapon with our okay. That doesn't help this country. That doesn't help future generations. And so he ripped it up. Basically, he signed a document withdrawing from that deal. I have the pen. He handed it to me, and we framed it, and it's on the wall. It's historic as far as I'm concerned. Then comes Biden. After Donald Trump has the Iranian regime on its back, he rejects the idea that the United States should be ushering in a nuclearized Iran. What does Biden do? He starts up with the Obama deal. Same people around him and so forth. He's selling out the country. Even worse, unlike Neville Chamberlain, he's actually giving billions and billions of dollars to the enemy to build up their conventional weapons. You see what they've done with these ballistic missiles. To build up their nuclear sites. You see how deeply they've been built into the mountains and so forth. So he gave aid and comfort to the enemy, in my humble opinion, if not strictly in the legal sense, in the reality sense. And so Donald Trump comes in again, thank God, thanks to you, and he says, wait a minute. These guys are going to have a nuclear weapon. They look at the intelligence information. He does, the Vice President does, the Secretary of State does, the Secretary of Defense does, the CIA, Ratcliffe says they're on the 1-yard line. If they choose to score a goal, it'll take them 2 weeks. The IAEA, no friend of the United States, it's part of the UN. They come in and they say, hello, they're 2 weeks away, they can get 10 nuclear bombs. The Europeans wake up and say, wait a minute, our appeasement hasn't worked. We have a problem, so they sanction Iran. You can sanction them all you want. And Donald Trump says, look, I got to go. I know there are people in our country that are isolationists. I know there are people in our country who claim to speak for MAGA and don't. I, Donald Trump, I'm MAGA, I speak for MAGA. And MAGA doesn't believe in suicide. And then he orders this in coordination with the Israelis. Absolutely fantastic. And now what do we hear? What if, what if, what if? What if they hit our bases with short-term to mid-term missiles? What if they send somebody into our country or use one of their sleeper cells to attack us? What if, or what if? And I'm thinking, I have some what ifs. What if we didn't stop Iran and they had nuclear weapons and we still have these bases in Arab countries, by the way, not Israel, in Arab countries? What if they threaten our bases with nuclear weapons? What would that be like? What would we do then? What if they give nuclear missiles, even one, to the Houthis in Yemen? What do we do then? What if they have a dirty bomb, a nuclear dirty bomb as they call it, and one of their sleeper cells is able to get a hold of that? What do we do then? I don't want to hear about what are these ifs and that's and buts. The fact is the enemy itself remains. It is Islamo-Nazi terrorism. Whether it's in Iran, whether it's in parts of Egypt where the Muslim Brotherhood was born, wherever it is, they want to kill us. They've been wanting to kill us since long before the other day when we hit those sites, that is last night. And they're going to continue to try and kill us. People don't understand. They don't have the Western mindset. They have the Islamo-Nazi mindset, which is kill the Jews, kill the Christians, kill Muslims who don't agree with us, kill the Hindus, kill the Buddhists, kill the West, kill the Americans, kill until we control the world. And God tells us to do it. That's how we get to heaven. It's still there. This attack on the nuclear sites doesn't change any of that. You're still going to go through the airports with the TSA, patting you down, telling you to take your shoes and belts off. We're not going to stop with our Joint Terrorism Task Force. They're still there. They still need to be on high alert. In other words, the enemy is still there. But this particular element of the enemy and this particular program of the enemy has been destroyed, and the regime is being destroyed, not because we believe in regime change, but because they're the enemy. And the Israelis aren't going to put up with it. And if they look in the wrong direction towards any of our military bases, with our great commander-in-chief, we won't look the other way either. That's our Blaze TV News Brief.
For all this and much more, sign up for LEVIN TV.